there was no way I was getting her in here today, but maybe next week. That'd be cool. I'm sure she's
her and maybe Angelina.
Yeah, Angelina will be back.
Yeah.
Well, maybe back.
Maybe.
So, what is going on? We have big things, good things. Some of it is, here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to spin things. But I do want to show what is good and what is bad. Like, you guys expect honesty from me. We've had good and bad things happening. I think the good outweigh the bad. But that's not to say that crypto has been peachy. There's let's talk P2B, elephant in the room. P2B is the first centralized exchange we've been on, our first experience with it. We've only been on it a short duration. In that short duration, we saw a trend. The trend was the GAN actually generates a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot.
The GAN does great, and we're expanding the GAN to we're expanding it to 110 countries in a short duration with paperwork, all like legal, everything. 110 countries. That'll be happening shortly, and it's decentralized. It's wonderful. Also, what Tanya's working on is an app for we've been talking about that app, so that all the GAN functionality will be based out of the native app as well. So there's that element too. So we're really happy with the GAN on its performance. We're happy to bring it to an app so that people can use our app to buy. That's going good. P2B has been not.
Yeah,
it's been good in some ways.
It was okay it was doing okay, and then we started noticing the trend, and the trend wasn't looking.
We lose money
good
on P2B.
Yeah.
We make some, but we lose more than we make off of P2B from fees, from the way it operates. It's not a winning situation. Our sales have been coming from like what funds the lifeblood of us has been coming from the GAN. There, very little promotion. Yeah, it pretty much was like,
the promotion. I didn't. You guys are more active in that. I didn't see even when I didn't see anything coming from P2B, and maybe they were focusing on their region because their region is
it's
Europe,
IP
right?
locked and all that. Yeah. But it's been, what we notice is the money and the liquidity on for Pancake Swap has been growing. So our liquidity there has been growing. It's been great. You guys look like, hey, it's over 140K now. Whereas just like a month ago, we were at like 80K. So that's good. That's 60 grand growth. And we check in P2B liquidity, which we fronted quite a bit. And we're like, we need to look at this and the trajectory of our lifespan in P2B if all we're doing is losing money on that platform.
And we don't have visibility of how they're marketing. We don't know. It's just like we're
no control.
We have no control over it. And in our case, we can control, where our marketing goes with the GAN button. With P2B, we have no idea. They say they're doing stuff, but there's no proof.
All we see is the liquidity going down, and from our visibility, and the amount of sales that are coming off of it are lackluster. And so here's the thing that they really did is if that's the only thing they did, I'm okay with it, is they catapulted us onto CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko and anything else. Yeah. Yay. That's already done. Now all we're doing is losing money. Yeah. So we are.
I'd rather put that money into our own marketing where we could do our own marketing ourselves.
Yes. So we took a lot of that. As of this morning, we closed it out, and we pulled everything into the marketing wallet, and we are doubling down to. We're cutting the loss, and focusing on what's winning, and the GAN is winning for us. It's going the app. We're pushing decentralized heavy anyway. That's our niche. We will be looking at other centralized exchanges. This one it wasn't a win. It was a win in some ways, but not to actually generate money. So one of the hardest things to do when you know, especially like a kick in the gut, like we work so hard to get things. One of the hardest things to do is self-evaluate and make tough decisions. I didn't make this alone. We all kind of talked, and we all, you know, like, hey, the trajectory that P2B is on is not generating, it's only losing. How much do we want to lose before we make a tough decision? And this morning it was like, and yeah, it was just, the answer was no. So the good news is we've been, even before that, we've been focusing on, I've added on the GAN about 20 more countries in this week. As far as, so here's the thing, where we market, we can't market to places where they can't buy. They can buy off Pancake Swap. Don't get me wrong, people can use Pancake Swap if they're familiar, but that's definitely very niche for people that are savvy, at least to a certain degree with crypto. Bringing an easy app that people can download, or the website, and do direct purchases from fiat, going straight through our GAN is going to be huge. So we can actually service those areas without them having to go through a centralized exchange.
We also have to align the user app with the merchant app, so it's going to be a lot easier for merchants to deal with it. So
it gives us as an organization much more control over the ecosystem versus having some of these wild cards right now, especially ones when, like, before it's kind of like a chicken and the egg, so many things in life. You want to be a household name, so you want to get exposure to become a household name. But if the exposure is costing you on an ongoing basis, it's not really doing anything to drive, and you're not a household name, it's like, so we have to really evaluate where we focus our efforts. And at this point, we can't afford losers. Well, at any early token for the first couple of years, you can't afford losers, especially not in a crowded field. You have to focus on what's winning and what's making money and what's doing well. And so, as much as I'd like to say that we could have, just for optics alone, we could just fund this loser, I think the gains that P2B was ever going to give us has already happened. And so that's where we're at on that. The good news is the GAN is going to be incredibly robust. I've got about 60 to 70 more countries left to go. So that's all of my time is loading those in. I'm on vacation part of next week. And I'll be doing that on vacation too. Loading countries into the GAN, making sure that we have all of our I's dotted, T's crossed. We have to have, obviously, paperwork's got to be done for them. We've got to have all of the on the end here, for development has to be done to incorporate those countries. And then they have to have, really, depending on the volatility of the currency, which we will be doing exchange from, we have to have like really fast price adjustments to make sure that we don't lose money in exchange rates. So we've got these systems kind of dialed in. Now it's just about rolling it out in mass. So it's like a pretty long checklist to onboard a territory or country. And some of them use the same currency, which is nice. You have to do two separate configurations. You have to do a complete configuration for their currency and all the calculations that go on behind the scene, symbols, all of that has to be onboarded properly. How many decimals they have.
Some don't have decimals.
Yeah, some don't have decimals. And for calculation, it throws everything off. Whether they use decimal points or commas, all of this stuff has to be configured. And then after that's done, we have to onboard the country, including whether we do any localization for those territories. So it is quite a bit. We're doing that. By focusing our efforts and our time on that is going to pay off way better than, unfortunately, a top 30 exchange for a token that is not a household name.
Yeah.
So the other thing this frees us up is to spend some of those advertising dollars on, we're going to be spending them mostly on things that are other ways to have legitimacy. So articles, you're going to see articles start coming through. We've already written them. It's just a matter of choosing who's going to get us published where and at the right time. I think that the right time for those is when we have the user app, because we want to drive people to download and try out a decentralized app that allows you to send Anubits between parties.
That's our first goal.
That's our first goal. And I mean, we can do that already. It's just doing it with a really clean UI.
Yeah, clean UI and the multi.
For the layperson, UI is just user interface. Sometimes people say GUI or GUI. That's a graphical user interface. Well, we were using a user interface that was a chat version of a user interface, which is a little. But usually, if you're on a smartphone, you've got buttons you press, you've got fields you type in. It does all that. It has everything from a friends list, so you can select the friends, ways that you onboard people. So if you give them an invite when they onboard, they're automatically your friend. Ways to confirm how much you're sending to people. Pretty much all of that is all going to be right out the gate. So what else is going on with your development?
Right now, we're working on the back-end systems that the user apps talk to, along with we were also messing around with that Market Maker for a bit, but
yeah. So they're working on Market Maker. It's kind of at this point that's just a loss.
Well, yeah.
Production time, that's a loss. Yeah. Like that's the tough thing when, we don't get on everything's butterflies and rainbows. Not everything's a win, and including your development time, which is precious because
expensive.
Development, yeah.
I'm not expensive. The rest of the guys are expensive.
Yeah. So now you'll be, and I know Adrian's been working on the endpoints with Tanya. Yeah. So when they develop the app, I don't know if you guys have checked out Flutterflow. I've mentioned it before. With app development, she gets a fully working model, and then it's pushed to an emulator, and then finally it's pushed to a smartphone to simulate the environment. And it works with dummy data at first, so it's just placeholder data.
Yeah, then just before we start doing our staging, it was what we call staging, is where we actually connect the APIs and make sure that the apps are talking to the APIs at that point. And then when we go into production, we switch to a whole different set of. You do it in a test sandbox.
Yeah. So you do dummy data first with an emulate, and then you do test data, which is still kind of dummy data, but it's actually feeding in from through a secure handshake through the APIs. So it's feeding in from a database, and then you go to production where now it's live data from the database where info is stored, and then that talks. So
there's no turning back once you hit production.
Yeah, once you're in production, you better have all the kinks worked out, or at least mostly all the mission critical bugs, so you can still have what are considered QOL or quality of life things that that's a little buggy.
Push updates and stuff like that. But it can't be major, because then you have to push an update, and even updates are a big deal because you have to do the same amount of testing for an update that you did when you're building the app. Then when you deploy the update, it's a whole other thing before everybody transitions on the update. So,
how about for security?
Security, security is the you're working while you're developing.
It's all I hear about. So
while you're developing, you're thinking about security all the time. then once you develop, you do your testing, you do your
we have third party.
yeah, third party tests, and then when you go to production, you don't mess around anymore. Everything's secure. You know, your keys are locked out. You sign your apps. Your users. You make sure all your users. You don't have any test users or anything. I mean, there's a lot.
For the most secure stuff, you're doing all biometrics here.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, we do not just traditional passwords, but we do a lot of like thumbprint, like a lot of biometrics.
Nobody can log into a computer here unless you have into our major computer systems unless you have a biometrics. You have to use your thumbprint, and it's just not one system is fully accessible by one person.
Pain in the butt is what it is. So that's kind of a gist of what's happening. You're going to see everything's going great on CoinMarketCap. We're going to have a little more control over things, and we had to kind of rip the Band-Aid off and do it while there was still plenty of liquidity versus watching it drain out of there. Here's the irony is whatever has drained out of there has more than been made up on Pancake. I'm really happy with our progress on Pancake. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I do want you guys to feel free to ask questions. If it looks like I'm a little demoralized, it hurts, it stings. One of the hardest thing to do is make a call and cut something that you've worked so hard that just didn't work out the way you were hoping. I'm sure I'll wake up tomorrow feeling like this was a really good thing, because whatever P2B was going to do, it unfortunately already did. So it did help bust down the door. That and Tanya came in like a wrecking ball to CoinMarketCap and got us on. Mm-hmm. So other than that, we will keep our heads down. When I would like to do, like, to show people kind of like I don't know, you tell me if you guys are able to interact with me and type a message. Would you guys like to see any, like, kind of behind the scenes, like, hey, show how the app's looking, show the progress, show how it's clicking through right now? Or do you guys just want to see the final product? Because I kind of like, you guys are involved with us in this process. You guys are what make all of this possible. Without your guys' like involvement. Okay, I hear Adam wants to see it. If you want to get, we can do like a TikTok and show off the app working, like to show. Maybe I can do a earlier version. We'll do a whole little progress type thing. Yeah, so you guys can see it. Oh, hey, look how much it's improved in just a day.
But we are working on talking about doing an ad, right? Showing how it works.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah. That, when it comes to marketing, you've got what you create, and then you got how you communicate that out to the world. So on one thing, it's kind of like what I'm talking about is for you guys. Just if you want to see you guys can't be here in the office. I want to bring you guys here to the office. If you guys see what it's like to do what we do with our days, and I know that if the world could see how things are at our office, we'd have this. I mean, everyone would want to be here. First off, y'all want to have lunch with us every day. But during working, it's really cool what we do. It's fun. And so I kind of want to try to bring that to you guys. I feel, honestly, sometimes when I'm typing in Telegram, I'm like, man, I just wish everybody was here, because, you get to see the team, whether it's Angelina making an ad or Tanya right now working on the app, Omar with his behemoth, wall of monitors with, windows open everywhere, and how he juggles all of those. Adrian on a video chat, Theo working on things in his office, me working on things in my office, Mario. It's like, I really want you guys to see that. So what I can do is bring in and maybe do a little TikTok, like what it's like to develop an app for Anubit, and kind of give you guys behind the scenes and give you a preview. That's a little thing that can be done. And if people like it, then share it, or whatever. I don't really TikTok, so And it's something that I can't do in the studio because Tanya's not working on this PC, so it's not like I can really share that screen. But we'll put it on TikTok then, and then maybe they'll share it on Twitter. And she gets super annoyed because she hates when people stand behind her.
Yeah, she doesn't like to be.
Even if I get visitors, like we'll get visitors here that want to see our like, whether it's our studio or they'll want to see, a real place where software is written. And they, when we showcase, like, hey, Tanya, show them Flutterflow and how that works. She's like, super. Then afterwards, she's like, I hate having to do that. I feel like I'm put on the spot. But she'll endure that. She didn't have to do live stream with us. So she'll endure that. We'll show you guys behind the scenes. And hopefully everyone likes it. It is something that, honestly, I can't do what she does. It fascinates me. You can do it. Adrian can do it.
I'm not visually creative like she is.
Omar's UIs, user interfaces, are
they look like
Mario Brothers, the OG Mario. They're a little clunky.
My UIs look like a guy, like 50 people made it, and everyone had an opinion. They all wanted to put a button to do something.
Awful.
Wrong colors. Everything.
Yeah, from the aesthetics of the UIs that you build, they're like, sometimes they're hard to look at, and then they look a little dated. Of course, they don't look super modern, but you love doing a button for everything. Like, customization, but it's just overwhelming. We like simple stuff. Most of us here have iPhones because they're simple. Android, right? So he wants options and choices. So he builds UIs with way too many options. So I'm like, dude, I don't need to do all that. I just need a simple way to go X, Y, and Z. Boom, and then he accuses me of Build-A-Bearing.
Build-A-Bearing. That's what he's known for, Build-A-Bearing. It can't ever be simple.
Can it be? Well, I want it to be simple, but I want it to be custom is simple.
He does. So if you already have something, all right, it's built. Let's say a automatic fill where you type in something and it fills in.
I like the auto-populate.
Auto-populate. Now he'll want to reinvent it to do this completely new type of thing.
I want it to calculate and account for X, Y, and Z, and then when it auto-populates.
And if I type something in wrong, I want it to change a color.
What do they want to see?
They want behind the scenes. Well, I suggested it, and they said yes, we're interested. They would like a TikTok, a day in the life of Tanya doing app development. So just like maybe something to show some quick snapshots of progress on the user app.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can do historically, like this is where I started. This is where it is
when
this
Angelina
day.
gets back, not right now.
I can record a couple of things and then.
You want to step on camera and say that to them? She's not an apparition. She exists.
That sounds like a great idea.
That was far less resistance than I was expecting. So there you go. Do you have access to the in-house TikTok, or is that Angelina?
I have access.
So she'll record a couple TikToks.
I just don't know how to use it. I'm such a boomer.
She's a boomer.
Boomer. What are we?
She
are we
says
boomers?
that against herself. I'm such a boomer.
Are we boomers? What are we?
We're Gen X.
Gen X.
But we're pre-boom.
So if you're what? It goes
She's
by
a
age?
Zoomer. She's a Zoomer.
Zoomer?
I'm on the cusp of a millennial and Gen Z.
Millennial, Gen Z.
So she's a moomer. All right, guys, we're gonna look out for those on TikTok. We'll link them on the website and everything like that. If I haven't replied to any messages you guys have sent, I apologize. I have been beating my head against the wall with just like she's developing the app. When I get into basically loading these languages on and not everything goes smooth, I have a dozen tabs open on my computer,
there's
double
some
checking.
maintenance we have to do on there too. That I've been.
It's
telling
not
you,
all plug and play.
Really, we're focused on these other things. We have to do some maintenance, also back end maintenance, some more UI enhancements to the GAN features, and so we are going to be working on. You'll see a few changes, but I'm sure you guys don't interact as much with the UI, but I would like more interaction with the back-end UI on the GAN. So we got to start adding some stuff to the dashboard.
We got to do it now before the app goes live anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, all good things. At the end of the day, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Really happy. Things are going better than we could hope. Not everything's a win, but at least we have the reflection and awareness to make hard choices. So other than that, you guys have anything, reach out. We will be on Telegram. I just haven't been replying as much. And, you know, I can tell you guys, every day we're loving what we do. We have not lost any steam as far as our passion for what we're doing. If anything, I'm so excited about what's up ahead of us, and I can't wait to put a real app so that I'm gonna be the first person to download it and have it on my phone. I can't wait to do that. It's coming.
To go walk into a store and buy something.
I know, the merchant section, much more exciting.
So sad. Why are we looking so sad here?
We don't have shots. It's been a long week. And tiring. So I'm like, okay, open my eyes. I'm so tired.
And plus, we're old.
Yeah, we're old. We're not that old.
Rob's old is no.
Actually, you would think that I'm older than Omar, but Omar's got years on me.
Yeah.
And if you look at photos from like 20 years ago, looks the same. It's not even fair. You look at me 20 years ago, you're like, damn. And now I'm like, yeah.
You just have to not believe in aging.
Oh, that's the secret. There you guys heard it. Don't believe in aging.
Don't believe in aging.
All right, guys. We'll see you in Telegram. Thank you much. And I'm glad I was able to do a